Right on Monday, I drove from, what's the name of this town? I can't pronounce the town. Schenectady, New York. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, drove from Schenectady, New York, all the way to Laredo, Texas. I'm in Laredo, Texas right now. Some drop yard. Yeah, Laredo, Texas. I'm like near the Mexico border. I drove through San Antonio, Austin. Yeah, I think I drove through Dallas too for some reason. Yes, I drove through Dallas, Austin. I drove through all these towns in Texas. I drove through all of them. I was coming from, I fueled somewhere in Arkansas, and then I got to Texas like yesterday. I ended up sleeping at some freaking gas station up north. I forgot what was the name of that town. Yeah, I was up north Texas. I think I was around might be around Dallas and stuff like that. I might be wrong. So, cause after I fueled up in Arkansas, I fueled up around like North Little Rock, Arkansas, North Little Rock, Arkansas. I fueled around that area. I mean that town, whatever they call it, that city, Little Rock, Arkansas. I fueled around that, and then I ended up getting to Texas yesterday. So I got the load on Monday, and I was able to deliver Thursday. I had to come to this drop yard for USA Truck. I mean, this is the biggest load I got for USA Truck. That's my whole load for the whole week. It was 2015 miles drive. 2,050 mile drive. Plus, for me to pick it up, because I was coming from Connecticut. So I picked up around Connecticut. No, I was going around Connecticut. I drove from Connecticut to New York. So that's 150 miles. 2,050 miles plus the 150 miles. So I was supposed to get a good, yeah, there you go. That's how many miles. Let's say 290 miles loaded and 153 miles empty. That's where that was a drive. I had to go pick it up in New York, and I got over here. I'm over here right now. So I'm doing this video. That was like the biggest load that I drove by myself. I mean, it's not the biggest drive that I drove in this country. When I moved from Boston, Massachusetts, I had to drive to Arizona. So it was more than 2,000. It was like 2,000 from Massachusetts to Arizona. It was a good 2,000 in my car. And I had my S550 Mercedes-Benz. It got stolen in Arizona. That's another story. It was I had a 2011 S550 Mercedes-Benz. I drove from Massachusetts to Glendale, Arizona. I got into an accident in Missouri, some town named Rolla, Missouri, in a snowstorm. That's another story. I don't even want to talk about it. And then when I was living in Arizona, my car got stolen by a tow truck driver. My S550 got stolen by a tow truck driver because it was like my car was out of service. I pulled out the rack and pinion, and a tow truck driver stole the car. I know I don't want to even talk about it. Let me stop talking about that. Yeah, I drove all the way from up there. I never drove that much, so that's why I'm making a big deal out of it. Never drove that much. I mean, in the truck, cause like I said, I drove from Massachusetts to Arizona, Glendale, Arizona. My Mercedes Benz. So in the truck, I never drove that much by myself. I mean, when I worked for Western Express, like I had like a few driving partner. We drove from Bloomington, California. It was like Bloomington, California, all the way to Maryland. That was one of my first partners. And then me and him, that week, we ended up getting paid for 5,000 miles. We drove about like almost 5,000 miles, but they pay us 5,000 miles for that week. They gave us a little bonus for some reason because they was ripping us off, because me and him, we was getting paid 27.5 cents a mile each. We was getting that each. We had to split 55 cents, 27.5 each. But he got paid for 5,000 miles and I got paid for 5,000 miles. Yeah, we drove from from Bloomington, California to Maryland. It was a FedEx load. Then they kept us in the East Coast. It was around the winter time because out in the West Coast got slow. They was sending us, that around that year, Western Express, they kept us in the East Coast. After we dropped the load from Bloomington, California to Maryland, they sent us to Syracuse, New York. We got sent to Syracuse, New York. We picked up a load out there, but me and him stayed there for like 12 hours to the next day to pick up a load. Because we drove from Maryland to Syracuse. I forgot, was it Maryland to Syracuse? We did some bullshit. We picked up something somewhere, and we drove to Syracuse. I forgot what the thing. We had to sit for like 12 hours in Syracuse. I ended up walking from the truck stop in Syracuse. I think it was called Liverpool, wherever that truck stop. It was a pilot truck stop. I ended up walking. I left my partner. Took a break. He was in the truck. I walked all the way to the mall, the Syracuse Mall. That's another story. But anyway, back to driving to Laredo, Texas. Yeah, so it took me, picked up the load on Monday. It was like Monday morning around like 10 o'clock. Then I think I started driving towards Texas around like 12 p.m. on Monday. I was around New York. It was a long drive, man. It was very stressful because it was one load. Like I did the whole one load, like 2,000, everything together was like 2,100 something miles, 2,170 something miles or something like that. I'm gonna get paid like 1,000 and some change for this load, like 1,100 and some change for this load. Like hopefully, like my driving manager was trying to like give me another load. I think it's gonna be another 500 miles. It's gonna be another 500 miles. It's gonna be another 500 miles. But anyway, back to like it took me a while to get out New York, because I was like around Albany and stuff. I had to go to Pennsylvania, then I had to go to Ohio. It was a long drive, bro. It was a long drive, like, and yeah, I'm getting paid. For this load, like 1,000 and some change. It was like 1,000 and some change, man. I already made like 1,000. I delivered today at 4. It was like I got to Laredo. I was in Laredo. Laredo is a big town. I was like near the border of Mexico and stuff. It's a big town. So I got there. For me to get to this yard, I had to come to this yard so the security guard could inspect the trailer and the truck, whatever. I mean, and then freaking and then I had to drive 3 miles from this yard. This is a company yard, USA Truck. I had to drive 3 miles from here to the delivery spot, and I had to wait. It was like 88 degrees. The lady wanted me to wait. I gave my bill of lading to the clerk, and it was like, oh, the customer, whoever will authorize us, we'll send somebody to give you a bill of lading, the paperwork. You could just drop the load. Lucky for me, I had to do live unload. And then I end up going to the bathroom and stuff. I mean, it was like that place was closed at 4 p.m. I got there around it was like 2:50. Gave my paperwork to the clerk, and then I had to wait like an hour. And once it was around 3:39, because I heard the place closed at 4 p.m. I went over there to a clerk, and I'm like, first it was gave me a Mexican lady. I didn't know I speak English, and then and then when I went back to the same clerk window, there was another little Mexican chick. She was young. She knew how to speak English. She was telling me, oh, the client gonna authorize, gonna email me. It was a lot of nonsense, man. I had to tell that to my driver manager. It was a lot of nonsense. I mean, because I didn't want to come back with the load. She was like, oh, if the client doesn't email us, this is it. I told my driver manager. My driver manager said, ask them for the email. And then I had to tell my driver manager, she don't want to give me the email. She talking about, oh, you gotta we have to wait the email. Once it was she had to wait for the email, and then they're gonna send somebody to bring you the bill of lading, sign, whatever. Bro, it was like 3:39. I was like, bro, I just want to leave. You know what I mean? The clerk had told me if the client didn't call her or email her, wherever, email her to authorize the drop, wherever, I just had to drop the trailer. Then I was gonna have to take the trailer to this yard and stuff, because my appointment was at 10 a.m. today, but I was late. And I told my driver manager, there's no way I'm gonna make it at 10 a.m. You know what I mean? There's no way, because I had to take a break. There was traffic. Like, bro, no way, bro. But I ended up delivering. I delivered today. I mean, like I said, I got there at 2:50 p.m. My delivery was at 10 a.m. But I mean, my driver manager told me I had all day till tomorrow. I want to do it today. I mean, I want to chill. I ended up doing my laundry at the company terminal, USA Truck out here, Laredo. I did my laundry. There's this guy over there at the laundry room. He's watching the old Walking Dead. I got Netflix, so I could watch that myself on my phone. So I don't need to stay in the driver lounge to watch those old episodes of Walking Dead. So I did my laundry. I ended up cooking some noodle soup. You know what I mean? I ate a lot. I ate plain today. And like I said, Laredo. At first, I had to come to the USA Truck. And dropped it over here. It was like 3 miles away from the USA Truck. I dropped. I ain't get no empty. I bobtailed back to the company terminal yard. I mean, it was a drive, man. That load was stressful, bro. It was very stressful. I have to drive back up north. I mean, I gotta go back to the East Coast. I live in the East Coast and stuff. I mean, we drive back up north. I mean, my birthday is next weekend, so I want next weekend